Hi, my name is Mike Gagne. I'm a Canadian living in Thailand for the last 5 years, but I was traveling here for at least 20 years on business, but decided to live here. Well, 4 years ago, I started riding motorcycles in Thailand, and I actually started on a scooter, and I kept going far from Bangkok to Pattaya to Ranong, and then I decided to buy a bigger bike, and I started off with a Honda Forza, and then from a Honda Forza I bought a CB500X, and then I bought an NC750X, and I just bought this Honda X-Adv, and I ride approximately 50,000 kilometers per year. So Thailand is a very beautiful place to ride. Well, I like to do touring, so I'm not a sport rider, but this bike is very capable. It's very similar to my NC750X. It's got a 750cc engine, and the reason I moved to this from my NC is because my NC has 135,000 kilometers, but this bike has spoked wheels, it's got a better braking system, suspension, and it also has Honda's famous DCT transmission, which is very good. Well, when I first bought this bike, I've only had 4,500 kilometers, but I noticed that when I was riding off-road, the suspension was a bit soft, and I was bottoming out. And even with setting it up very stiff, it still would bottom out a little bit. So that's why I contacted your company, YSS, because I knew that they had the best systems for improving the performance of this bike. I do maintenance all the time with Honda to make sure that the bike is ready to go. In the past, I've traveled to China, Tibet, Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia, Myanmar, and as well as in Malaysia. So preparing the bike, you have to make sure that the bike is in, very good conditioning, check the brakes, check the oil, and the suspension is very important because some of the roads are very, very tough. And so you want to make sure that you stay on the road and not off the road. Well, I guess like in the past, because I'm a new rider, I wasn't too sure about adjusting, and that's why I came here to learn more about adjusting the suspension on the bike, which is very important depending on the roads that you ride on and depending on the weight that you carry. In the past, if I rode my CB500X with 2 people, it's not a very good ride because the suspension is too weak. So now that I know that, that's why I'm here to learn more about suspension and the roads that I'm going. I'm actually leaving on a trip in October going to Shambhala in China. Some of the roads are very good, but some of the roads are very terrible. So you need to have good suspension. Well, now it's much better than it was before. My test ride was night and day, the difference, much more responsive, much more confident going through, some potholes and things like that that when I came here this morning. So I'm very happy with what's going on with the bike right now, and I'm looking forward to trying it out this weekend. We're doing a ride to Hua Hin with a group, so it'll be a good test. Well, it's funny because, there's other companies, and I've talked to quite a few people, and I read about the company, and it's made in Thailand. That's one big advantage. The technical crews here are very good. People know what they're talking about. And from references from some of my friends that are very good riders, use your system. So it's better to go with a good brand than it is to go with something that you don't know about. People, they say I'm an old man. I'm 64 years old. I ride a lot because I'm lucky that I live in a country where riding is the roads are amazing in Thailand. But you can also go, sometimes on off roads and things like that. So the message for riders is make sure that you're set up properly, your bike's in good conditions, and you can enjoy the roads. and my philosophy is ride to ride another day. So, I see young guys riding at 200 kilometers an hour plus. Sometimes it's a bit too fast, so if you ride reasonably, you can ride a long time. So having the proper lights and safety equipment is very good too.